Hi, Steve Kaufman here, and welcome to Self-Revealization Acceptance. This week's lesson is, I changed my world. I changed my world according to the needs and desires that I want to experience based on my divine and earthly right to live in joy and freedom. The SRA, the Self-Revealization Acceptance, that you received in the newsletter goes into detail about how you have got to change your mindset to empower you to change your world. You know, a lot of people say they want to change their world. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do anything to create waves. Well, in order to change your world, you have to create waves. And essentially, you have to burn your bridges. Burning your bridges is very important. If you don't burn your bridges and you go forward, you say to yourself, hey, you know, we're going to go into this new unexplored world, new territory, new lifestyle, new way of thinking. And I take all the people with me that I was involved with before and decide to burn my bridge. Guess what? You're not burning your bridge. You're not going anywhere. It's essential to burn your bridges. If you don't burn your bridges, you're going to be taking all the baggage along with you. Now, you have to understand the difference in what to leave behind compared to what you're going to take with you. If there are any aspects of your life that you find have been really, really denigrating to your happiness, if you will, then you have to very simply cut those things out. Now, a lot of people are going to say, hey, well, yeah, if you go ahead, we're behind you. I want you to go ahead. I want you to go burn your bridges. I want you to move ahead. I want you to make the changes. I want you to change your world. They're all for it. But they're also saying in the back of their mind, yeah, and if it doesn't work out, I know he's going to try to come back. And if he's going to try to come back, you know, you're going to have to suffer the slings and arrows of we told you so. So what you have to do, for example, as a basic self-realization acceptance is say to yourself, I changed my world. I changed my world according to my needs. I changed my world according to my desires and the experiences I want to enjoy as part of my divine and earthly right to live in joy and freedom. And they include the following. Boom, 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 boom. And you write out a list. You write out a list. And as you understand this, as you're going through the self-realization acceptance that was sent to you in the newsletter, and you change the words accordingly, you're going to find yourself in a position of personal enlightenment. Personal enlightenment. Now, enlightenment is something that you have got to come to terms with based on your needs. Not enlightenment according to Buddha, not enlightenment according to Joe Blow or somebody else who's giving you a lecture or a methodology to enable you to do these things, but according to you. Your enlightenment is based on your freedom of spirit. Your freedom of spirit is what empowers you to ascend to the next level of understanding of your own reality. All of these things are explained in my books. The primary book, of course, is Self-Revealization Acceptance, Your Divine and Earthly Right to Live in Joy and Freedom, the introduction. And this is it. Okay? It's available where all good books, here comes the commercial, right? Where all books are sold, Amazon, Kindle, especially if you want an autographed copy, you can get it through hanshi.com/books. This is the introductory book, Self-Revealization Acceptance. The book that we're talking about, in which I sent the Self-Revealization Acceptance Reality Facilitation out to you, comes from the book, Practicing Self-Revealization Acceptance. Practicing self-realization acceptance, empowering yourself to create your own reality facilitation so you can ascend to your next level of consciousness. What is it you want to change? This is very important. What is it you want to change for you? It's very important to understand the aspect of selfishness. Selfishness is a very healthy thing. There's pure selfishness and there's impure selfishness. Pure selfishness is what you're going to create as an environment for yourself, for you to experience, so that you can be essentially more giving of yourself to those who you want to be giving to, not those who you think you have to give to. You don't want to do that, because all that's going to do is going to create more negative sentiment inside of you. And the more negative sentiment you create, the more you're going to be going through the same thing. How do I make these changes? How do I make these changes? The changes can only come about based on your sincere, intense desire to ascend to a new level, a new plateau of living your life. Now, I'm not saying you got a wife and kids, just say, hey, the hell with them. I'm going to walk out of the house and leave everybody to themselves. This is not what we're talking about. That is not changing your world. That's creating a problem for yourself. But at the same time, if you consider the new aspects of your attitude towards all of these things will change their attitude towards you. But you have to be consistent. You have to say to yourself, this is the way I'm going to do it, and this is what I want. And you have to stick to it. And the only way you're going to be able to stick to it is by working through a self-realization acceptance reality facilitation that's going to slam it into your psyche. If you don't do this, you're just using words, man. How many people use words? Hey, well, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do the other thing. They don't take action. You have to take action, not reaction to a circumstance, but action to create a new circumstance. When you create a new circumstance, you move ahead with a new set of values, a new mindset that you truly believe is good for you. You have to believe it's good for you. If you don't believe it's good for you, what are you doing it for? If you don't believe what you're doing is good for you, why are you doing it? Are you doing it for someone else to curry their favor? All that's going to do is going to create a stress situation, because when you stop doing that particular thing, all kinds of issues are going to emanate from the relationship. So to change your world, to burn your bridges, to move ahead without restriction or delay takes a lot of courage and a lot of self-belief, self-esteem, self-control. To change your world, you have got to control your environment, and you have got to move ahead with all belief, all knowledge that the decision you have made is the right decision for you. Once you make this decision about what is right for you, all those who are necessary and important in your life will pick up on this. Now, they may reject it. They may give you all kinds of static. That's their issue, not yours. Plain and simple. Let's get selfish over here. Who's more important to you? You or anything outside of you? If you say anything outside of you, then you don't have the pure value of what it is that you really want to ascend to in your life. And this is not a mean, nasty thing to say. You want to take better care of your family? Then you better take better care of yourself. You want your kids to respect you? Then you had better respect yourself. And any situation you're in, work, family, relationships, anything, health, oh, definitely. So you're not feeling well. This hurts, that hurts, you have all these aches and pains. Well, what am I going to do about them? Well, I'll take this pill, I'll take that pill, I'll go to the doctor. Wrong. Wrong. I'm telling you right now, it's wrong. When you have an issue, a physical issue, a realistic concept in your own mind of what the physical issue is. I mean, I'm not talking about you're in stage 4 of some kind of a disease or something. At the point you're at now, you can't change it. Later on, as you get more versed in practicing self-realization acceptance, you can. But at this particular point, do not give authority to any of these aches or pains. What do you mean don't give authority to these aches? It hurts. Fine. It stops hurting. Well, what do you mean it stops hurting? It's hurting. Is it wrong? It stops hurting. Well, I still feel it stops hurting. Do not give any of these aches or pains any authority. Do not give any of these aches or pains any ability to become worse. As a matter of fact, because you are convinced that it stops hurting, it stops hurting. It subsides, it just doesn't go pop like that. You're not at that level yet. Very, very few people are at that level. But you can be at that level. Well, I have this issue with my this, that, or the other thing. The issue you have with this, that, or the other thing, self-realization acceptance, self-healing. The issue I have with this other thing ceases to have authority in my life. Ceases to have authority in my life. Whatever it is that I have got to do, whatever it is that I have got to accept as a new reality facilitation is now in place, and the pain subsides. Well, I still feel it. No, the pain subsides, and you refuse to acknowledge it by giving it any authority. And drop it. Boom. Now, is that going to work? That sounds like some hocus pocus. Well, it's not hocus pocus, okay? It's real. It's real. This is not any of this new age cockamamie, you know, where you're going to burn incense and, oh, I'm healed. No. You tell the creative power of the universe what it is you want. The creative power of the universe being totally objective. That's what you want? Do you really want that? Okay, boom, you got it. And the spirit of the thing itself, of the healing, the spirit of the healing manifests in you, as you, and through you. Simple as that. Look, if you like what you're hearing, I appreciate very much if you click subscribe. I would appreciate very much if you click like. And if you don't like what you're hearing, click you don't like, but over in the comments, tell me what you don't like about it, and I will address that. If you want to get in touch with me, not a problem. SelfRevealization@gmail.com. Do that and send me your email address, and I will put you on the newsletter. The newsletter is filled with all kinds of information, including the current self-realization acceptance. I answer any questions. I respond to any comments, any ideas, any thoughts, anything you want me to talk about or address, I will do that. If you want me to work with you one-on-one, and I have many years of experience, successful experience doing this with other people, selfrevealization@gmail.com. Steve, I have this issue. Can you help me? And we'll put it together. Again, the books are available at www.hanshi.com/books. They're also available at Amazon, Kindle, and every other bookseller on the planet. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.